A 57-year-old man stands before Judge Frank Caprio, his face a mask of pure, unadulterated rage. This is just a racket, and you know it. A cash grab. His voice shouts, cracking not with sadness, but with a raw, jagged fury that echoes off the wooden walls of the Providence courtroom. The audience, just moments before lulled by the afternoon docket, is now bolt upright, stunned into silence. The court officers stiffen, their professional calm replaced by a new sharp alertness. He's here for a simple minor seatbelt ticket. But his anger, his vitriol is so intense, so disproportionate, it threatens to get him held in contempt of court, or worse, he has no lawyer. He has no family beside him. He is just one man, vibrating with a desperate fury, who believes the entire system is designed to crush him. Judge Caprio, a man who has seen every shade of human frustration, reviews the file. He sees the man's shaking hands, the deep, exhausted lines of fury etched around his eyes, and he makes a decision that shocks the entire courtroom. He doesn't bang his gavel. He doesn't call for the bailiff or raise his voice. He just waits, he listens, and then he asks a simple question. A single personal question that changes everything. Why do you really feel so strongly about this? What happens next, when this angry, broken and defiant man completely collapses in tears and confesses the real reason he's fighting? It becomes one of the most powerful and viral lessons in compassion his courtroom has ever witnessed. Stay till the end. This story is not what it seems. It proves that sometimes the law isn't the real problem at all. It's the unbearable pain hiding right underneath the surface. Subscribe to this channel and drop your city in the comments. You are definitely going to want to share this one. Thursday afternoon, 2:15 p.m. The courtroom is warm, the sunlight streaming in through the tall windows, illuminating particles of dust dancing in the air. The afternoon docket, as it so often does, was dragging on. The bailiff's voice had become a monotonous river of case numbers and minor infractions. Case 1136, failure to stop. Case 1137, expired registration. It's the lull of the day, the moment where procedure takes over and the human element fades into the background hum of the justice system. Then, the energy in the room doesn't just shift, it shatters. Case 1138, Samuel Greyson, failure to wear a safety belt. A 57-year-old man stands up from the back bench so abruptly that his chair scrapes, a loud, ugly sound against the courtroom floor. He doesn't just walk to the podium, he stomps. A heavy, angry stride, each step a hammer blow on the tile. A clear message of his displeasure before he's even said a word. He's wearing a worn, red and black flannel shirt, faded blue jeans, and scuffed work boots that have seen 1,000 better days. His face is set in a deep, permanent-looking scowl. His graying hair is unkempt, and his eyes are burning with something that goes far beyond simple frustration. He arrives at the podium and grips its sides, his knuckles instantly turning white. He's holding on as if he's either trying to steady himself or preparing to throw the podium across the room. Judge Caprio looks up from the file, his gaze calm and steady, and he immediately sees it. This man isn't just frustrated. He's not just annoyed, he's furious. And he's deeply, profoundly hurting. Good afternoon, sir. Your name? The judge asks, his voice even. Samuel Greyson, Your Honor. The man's voice is gruff, sharp, laced with a disrespect that hangs in the air. And I want to know why I'm here for this nonsense. That's fine, Mr. Greyson. We can certainly discuss that, Judge Caprio replies, unflappable. You're cited for failure to wear a safety belt. Do you understand the charge? Samuel scoffs, a bitter barking sound that makes a few people in the gallery jump. Oh, I understand it. I understand it's just another example of the government sticking its nose where it doesn't belong. It's a scam. A cash grab, plain and simple. The audience murmurs, people shifting uncomfortably in their seats. This is more than the usual courtroom grumbling. Judge Caprio's expression remains calm, a rock in the storm of this man's anger. Mr. Greyson, the law is in place for... Samuel cuts him off, his voice getting louder. The law? You call this a law? It's a racket. It's control. That's all you people in government ever want, control. You tell us where to drive, how fast to drive. Now you're telling us how to sit in our own damn cars. What's next? He's shouting now, his face reddening. You gonna tell me what to eat for breakfast? What time to go to bed? Is that what's next? The bailiff, standing by the wall, a man who has seen it all, visibly tenses and takes a half step forward. His hand moves almost unconsciously toward his hip. Judge Caprio, without even breaking eye contact with Samuel, raises a single calm hand. A stay-put gesture, a silent command. He is not afraid of this man's anger. He is in control of his courtroom, and he's choosing to meet this rage not with force but with patience. "Mr. Greyson," the judge says, his voice still level, "are you here by yourself today?" "Yeah, I'm by myself," Samuel snaps. "Always by myself. That's just the way it is. And do you have legal representation?" "An attorney." Samuel lets out a harsh, disbelieving laugh. "A lawyer? For a seatbelt? What, you think I'm made of money? You think I'm one of them?" He gestures vaguely. "No, I don't have a lawyer. I thought I'd just come here and tell you this whole thing is a joke, and you'd tell me the real fine, and we'd all get on with this charade." Judge Caprio looks down at the citation, then back at the man. The officer's notes are simple but telling. Defendant was immediately hostile and uncooperative. Refused to sign citation. Stated, "The law is a joke and I don't care." The judge looks at Samuel, really looks at him. He sees the anger, but now he sees the exhaustion beneath it. The dark circles under his eyes. The way his hands gripping the podium are visibly trembling. "Mr. Greyson, this is a minor citation, but your anger, it seems significant. It seems disproportionate to a $75 fine. May I ask what you do for a living?" Samuel's face, if that's even possible, darkens further. He spits his words out. "I used to be," he says, the words full of acid, "a shift supervisor. At the plant. The one down on the river. 28 years, 28, until they restructured me right out the door. Replaced by a machine and a 20-year-old kid with a laptop, I guess." "I'm very sorry to hear that, Mr. Greyson," the judge says, and his voice is filled with genuine empathy. "That's a difficult thing for anyone to go through." "Yeah, well, life's difficult," Samuel retorts, his wall of anger still firmly in place. "And this," he gestures around the courtroom, "this is just one more way the system kicks you when you're down. First my job, now this. You're all just leeches, no offense, Your Honor." "None taken," Judge Caprio says, his voice still gentle. "But this law, Mr. Greyson, it's not about money. It's not about control in the way you think. It's about safety. It's about saving lives. We've seen the data. We've seen the tragedies. It saves lives. My life, my choice, right?" Samuel shoots back, his voice rising to a shout again. "It's my body in my car. I don't need you to protect me. I've been protecting myself my whole life. And a damn fine job I've done of it, till you all came along. Mr. Greyson," the judge says, his voice soft but firm, "this citation carries potential penalties, fines, points on your license. But I have to be honest with you. I'm less concerned about the fine right now, and I'm more concerned about you." Samuel stares, his mouth open, ready to fire his next volley. But this simple, unexpected statement stops him cold. "You seem to be carrying a very, very heavy burden, Mr. Greyson. A burden that has nothing to do with this ticket." Samuel's face twists in a snarl. "You don't know anything about me." "You're absolutely right. I don't," the judge agrees, nodding. "But I'm a pretty good judge of character. And I can see the pain in your eyes even when you're shouting at me. And that's when Judge Caprio makes his decision, the one that changes everything. He doesn't bang his gavel. He doesn't threaten contempt, which he would be well within his rights to do. He pushes the citation, the legal file, the official documents to the side. He leans forward, his hands clasped on the bench, and he ignores everything else in the room. The audience, the bailiff, the law, and he focuses on one thing, the man in front of him, Samuel. "I've been doing this a long time. I have seen a lot of anger in this room, a lot of frustration. But the anger I see in you, it's not about a piece of fabric. It's not about a $75 fine. It's about something much, much deeper." Samuel glares, his jaw working, but he's momentarily silenced. "What, you a psychologist now too?" he mutters, but the fire is gone. "No," Judge Caprio says, his voice unwavering, a lifeline in the tense room. "I'm just a man who knows pain when he sees it. So I'll ask you again. Help me understand. Why do you really feel so strongly about this?" And that is the moment, the question that breaks him. The question wasn't about the law. It wasn't about the fine. It wasn't about his guilt or innocence. It was about him, Samuel's face, the fortress of rage he has so carefully constructed, stone by stone for years. It doesn't just crack, it crumbles. He struggles. He tries to find the anger again. He opens his mouth, but no sound comes out. The judge's simple, honest question has disarmed him. The anger, the fortress, it all dissolves, and behind it is a void, a chasm of such profound, bottomless pain that it floods the room. His shoulders, which had been squared in defiance, now slump. His hands, which were gripping the podium, now just rest on it, trembling as if to hold him up. "My job," he whispers, and the word is a ghost. Then he leans heavily on the podium, his head dropping, and he begins to sob. Not a few quiet tears. A deep, racking, agonizing sound that rips from his chest. The sound of a man who hasn't cried in a decade, and who has just lost his final desperate battle to hold it all in. "My job," he says again, his voice thick and choked. 28 years. Not 28 days. 28 years. I gave them my life. I gave them my back. My hands. He looks at his own hands on the podium, calloused and worn. I missed my son's baseball games for overtime. For them, and for what? He's talking to the judge, but he's also talking to the heavens, to the empty space where his life used to be. A meeting, a 10-minute meeting with some HR kid who's never worked a day on the floor. Restructuring, they said. We're going in a new direction. They threw me out, Your Honor. They threw me out like I was a broken part, like I was trash. The courtroom is completely, utterly silent. The only sound is this man's heartbreaking confession. The air is thick with shared human pain. He's not done. And when you're trash, he sobs, you feel like trash. And people don't like to be around trash. My wife, Sarah. He chokes on her name, the sound like a stone in his throat. She tried. God, she tried. But I was so angry. Every day. Angry at the TV, angry at the mail, angry at her. For no reason. For every reason. One day, he whispers, she was just looking at me, standing in the kitchen. And I didn't see love. I didn't see anything. She just said, Sam, I can't live with this ghost. You're not the man I married. And she left a year ago. And the house is just so quiet. He's fully broken now, leaning his whole weight on the podium, his face a total ruin of tears and grief. He looks up, his eyes destroyed, pleading, raw. So you ask me why I don't wear a seatbelt, Your Honor. You really want to know? His voice drops to a devastating final whisper. It's 'cause I don't care. I don't care if I wrap my car around a pole. What's the point? What's the point? I've lost everything. I've got nothing. I am nothing. So what are you gonna do? Find me? Find me? He gives a wet, broken laugh. Go ahead. It's just one more shovel of dirt. An older woman in the back row stands, her hand flying to her mouth. Oh, that poor man, she whispers, her own eyes filling with tears. She sits back down, crying silently into a handkerchief. Several other people in the gallery are wiping their eyes, unashamedly. The entire room has just witnessed a man's soul break wide open. Judge Caprio lets the man's words hang in the air. He lets the pain be seen. He doesn't rush to fill the silence. He takes a long, slow breath, his own eyes wet, his own heart heavy. When he finally speaks, his voice is thick with an emotion that is almost fatherly. Mr. Greyson, Samuel, please. Look at me. It takes a moment, but Samuel struggles to look up, his face slick with tears and snot, a mask of raw, unfiltered grief. Samuel, the judge says, his voice a pillar of strength and compassion in the room. I've reviewed your citation, and I have heard your testimony. And first, let me say something about your loss. You're right, to lose your job after 28 years. That's not just losing a paycheck. That's losing a piece of who you are. That's a trauma. It's an injury, as real as any broken bone. And to lose your family, that is a wound that is deeper than anything this court can comprehend. The anger you've been carrying, it's not a character flaw, Samuel. It's a symptom. It's a symptom of that profound, unspoken grief. Samuel is crying again, but it's different now. It's a softer cry. He's not fighting anymore. He's just listening. Half the people in the courtroom are crying with him. Second, Judge Caprio continues, leaning forward, his gaze locked with Samuel's. You said you don't care what happens to you. You said your life is worthless. You said you are nothing. Well, I'm sitting up here today in this courtroom as a judge and as a witness to tell you. You are wrong. Samuel looks up, stunned, his sobs catching in his throat. Your life is not worthless. It is not. You are a member of this community. You are a human being made in the image of God. You are a man who is carrying a cross that most of us could not bear. And you matter. Your pain matters. And your future matters. Third, regarding this citation, you're right, it's about safety. It's about preserving life. And your life, Samuel. Your life is worth preserving. Whether you believe that today or not, it's worth preserving. You are not a criminal, Samuel. You are a man who is grieving. You are a man who needs help, not a fine. Judge Caprio's voice strengthens with purpose. Therefore, this citation is dismissed completely. You owe nothing. No fine, no points, no record of this. Samuel sobs, a sound of pure relief, his legs buckling. He holds onto the podium to stay upright. Thank you, he whispers. Thank you. But Samuel, the judge says, holding up a hand, I'm not going to do just that. I'm not going to let you just walk out of here. Not like this. Not in this much pain. I am issuing a court order, Judge Caprio says, that you be connected today before you leave this building with the state's employment and counseling services. My clerk, he gestures to the clerk beside him, who is already nodding, her own eyes kind, is going to personally call the mental health services unit. We're going to get you an appointment. We're going to get you some help. You've carried this burden alone for far too long. You don't have to carry it alone anymore. And at that, the courtroom erupts. Not a polite clap. A real emotional, spontaneous standing ovation. People are on their feet, clapping, crying, clapping for the man at the podium and for the judge on the bench. Samuel is just shaking, looking at the judge in utter disbelief, as the applause for him, for his pain, for his survival, washes over him. Samuel, the judge says, his voice full of warmth over the applause, I came here today angry and defiant and alone. You thought you'd pay a fine or yell at a judge. Instead, I hope you leave knowing that this community, this courtroom sees you, that you're not worthless, and that you're not alone. The law, Samuel, it's not just about punishment. It's about lifting people up when they've fallen. And you've fallen. It's time we helped you up. After court, the room slowly empties. Samuel is still standing there, stunned, as the clerk, a kind woman named Maria, hands him a piece of paper. Here's the number, Mr. Greyson. Your appointment is for tomorrow at 10 a.m. His name is Dr. Evans. He's very kind. He's expecting you. Samuel just stares at the paper as if it's a lifeline. Thank you, he whispers, blowing his nose on a tissue the bailiff had quietly passed to him. Judge Caprio steps down from the bench, something he rarely does, and walks over to the podium. He puts a hand on Samuel's shoulder, a firm, fatherly grip, Mr. Greyson. Samuel, it's going to be okay. That first step is the hardest, and you just took it. Take the next one. Go to that appointment. Will you do that for me? Samuel can't speak. He just nods, and in a raw human moment he grabs the judge's hand with both of his calloused ones. Thank you, Your Honor, he chokes out. Thank you. As he turns to leave, the older woman from the gallery, the one who had cried, approaches him. Mr. Greyson, she says softly, her eyes kind, I run a church soup kitchen just 2 blocks from here. We have a men's group that meets on Tuesdays, just to talk, just to be. I want to give you my card. A man in a suit steps up. Mr. Greyson, sorry to interrupt. I heard you mention the plant. I'm with a temp agency. We specialize in industrial supervisors for new roles. It's not what you had, I know. But it's a start. I'd like to get your information if that's okay. An older man in a Vietnam veteran cap puts a rough hand on Samuel's other shoulder. Son, he says, his voice gravelly, I've been where you are, in that black hole. Don't you stay there. You hear me? You climb. Samuel is surrounded, not by a system, but by a community, people offering support, resources, friendship. He came in as an island of rage. He's leaving, as a man being seen. The video of the hearing, of course, goes viral. The comments flood in from around the world. I'm a 300-pound truck driver and I'm bawling in my cab. I've been Samuel. This is what justice should be. Not a fine, but help. He didn't need a punishment. He needed a person. That's true justice. I'm a CEO and I'm crying in my office. This is leadership. Judge Caprio didn't just dismiss a ticket, he saved a man's life. I've been Samuel. Thank God for judges like Caprio, and for all the people in that courtroom who didn't judge him. 9 months later, Judge Caprio's clerk hands him a letter. Your Honor, you probably don't remember me. My name is Samuel Greyson. I was the angry guy with the seatbelt ticket. You dismissed it. You made me go to counseling. I wanted you to know I'm still going. Every week. It's helping. I have a new job. It's a small plant, but I'm supervising again. I'm working. My hands are busy, and I wanted to tell you. My wife, Sarah, and we've been talking. We had coffee last week. She smiled at me, Your Honor. A real smile. I haven't seen that in years. We're taking it slow, but I have hope. You didn't just dismiss my ticket that day. You didn't just save me $75. You gave me my life back. Thank you. Samuel G. Judge Caprio frames that letter in his chambers, a powerful reminder that justice isn't a word. Healing is an action. And when justice means more than law, it means hope. Samuel Greyson walked into court ready for a fight, ready to burn it all down. He left with a community, his dignity restored, and his anger finally understood. Judge Caprio proved that sometimes the rules need to bend for what's right. That justice should see the wound, not just the behavior. This is what happens when a judge sees an angry, defiant man and recognizes a broken heart. Samuel earned his second chance not by being perfect, but by being human. Comment below. Share this if you believe everyone deserves compassion, even on their worst day.